And yeah, after this zone, we've got Metropolis, of course, where for some reason they bumped it up to 3 acts, which is just annoying. And again, this zone has pretty much all the same problems I had with Oil Ocean, except that I don't have a good way to cheese this. I did look up the speedrun strat where you can, there's a wall glitch that you can use to like zip through the whole level by you go on a moving platform at on a certain pixel, and you can just go through into a wall and zip through the entire level that way. I've never been able to get it to work, so alas, mere peasants like myself have to play through the Metropolis Zone in kind of the slow, boring way. But yeah, this zone pretty much has everything wrong with it that I didn't like about Oil Ocean multiplied. There's even more cheap hits, and even more... It takes even longer to finish. The enemies in this zone, actually, in particular, are like super annoying to deal with. I hate the mantises, I hate the crabs, I hate the starfish. Every enemy in this zone is just a pain in the ass. Ugh. I don't want to spend the rest of the LP complaining about this zone. Instead, I should finish that thought I was completing. I was trying to get through about the special stages. Sonic 1 special stages... Okay, I've gone through all of that already. Sonic 2 special stages... more fun on their own, but they sort of distract from the main game a bit more than they did in Sonic 1. It's like you've kind of got to go out of your way to get them. You need to find the lampposts, and you need to get all the rings, and rings are actually a bit more scarce in this game, I've found, than in most of the other Sonic games on the Genesis, or at least that's what I think. So yeah, you've got to kind of go out of your way to get rings, got to kind of go out of your way to find the lampposts some of the time, and the stages themselves take a super long time, so it's just, I don't like going for the Chaos Emeralds in this game. So yeah, sorry about that. I'm not going to be doing the special stages here, just because that's not the way I like to play through Sonic 2. So yeah, and it's not... I actually made decent time here for this zone. I'm usually about 2:30 in each of the acts of Metropolis. At some point, I need to just sit down and, play Metropolis like a bunch of times and find a good route through this zone where I can get it down to like kind of a normal time that it takes me to get through most of the other zones in this game. Because it's just kind of the abrupt change from like the really super fast, like usually like 1 minute to about 90-second acts in like all of the zones in this game. It's like, yeah, each act in this game takes about like anywhere from about 40 to 90 seconds to complete until you get to Oil Ocean and Metropolis, and then suddenly things are just, you spend like a lot of time in these two zones, and it's just kind of, and like I said, this game is so short that actually kind of detracts a lot from the overall experience, in my opinion, and that's pretty much the main reason. These two zones, Oil Ocean and Metropolis, are pretty much the main reason why I'd say that I really like Sonic 3 more than this game. And yeah, like I was saying, for that reason also, just because, yeah, Sonic 3 gives a lot of kind of sort of the same kind of experience as Sonic 2. It's like I said, very similar kind of design philosophy to the way they approach the level design. And honestly, I think the level design in Sonic 3 and Knuckles is actually a bit better than in Sonic 2. So it's a bit better in that regard, a bit worse in that it takes a bit longer to get through the zones, although, or arguably at least. But it's not too bad, and pretty much all of the zones in general are just, like, there aren't any bad zones, to be honest, I don't think, in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Every single one of them are sort of fun to go through in their own way, with the caveat that once you get good at the game and have sort of know what you're doing and how to get through each zone in a reasonably efficient manner. Like, I know Sandopolis, for example, is a huge pain in the butt to get through your first time through Sonic and Knuckles, but once you kind of know what you're doing with that zone and have played it enough times, you can kind of just breeze through it, no problem, which is, the way I like to play my Sonic games. But anyway, so yeah, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is basically just kind of Sonic 2, but kind of better in most ways. So for that reason, when I want a good classic Genesis Sonic experience, I just play, yeah, this platform here, the Switch just doesn't work some of the time for some reason, I don't know why. But anyways, if I want to go back and have like the Sega Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog experience, I hate these things so much. It's like, you just can't run, like I said, you can't do the whole run through without a care in the world thing in this zone. You'll just run into the frickin' mantises, and because they can pop up anywhere, you just can't really just run around at top speeds like I really like to. But I'm going to anyways in this zone and just get hit all the time because I'm stubborn. So anyways, for that reason, normally when I want to do my like Sega Genesis Sonic experience, I go for Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And if I want like a very different Sonic experience, because, you know, like I talked in my Sonic 1 LP about all the ways that Sonic 1 had a very different approach to the design of its levels, and just it's a very different type of game in general from its successors. And so if I want a Sonic game that's, you know, kind of different, kind of a bit more slow-paced and obstacle-based, I go for Sonic 1. And so for that reason, I don't really play Sonic 2. Oh, that sucked. I knew that was going to happen too. I knew that was there. But I didn't want to run forward because I I mean, that's the thing. You kind of, in some places in this zone, you kind of want to run forward really fast, like that place where I just died, for example. And in some places, you really want to take it slow so that you don't get hit by the mantises. And, like, how do you even get past the stupid thing? Like, I don't even know how you get past that without getting hit, without, like, just sitting and waiting for, like, a super long time. It's just, oh, this zone sucks so much. I hate it. Yeah, it really kind of detracts from the whole experience. But anyways, yeah, for all those reasons I mentioned, I generally go for the other Sonic games when I'm going for a Genesis Sonic game. And for that reason, I haven't... Like, when I was a kid, Sonic 2 was definitely my favorite game in the series. And I played this game a whole heck of a lot back in the day when I actually, you know, played back in the 16-bit era, growing up as a kid in those days. But, yeah, these days, I don't really go back to Sonic 2 as much as I do the other Sonic games. Which is why, yeah, like I said, I played this game, I did a few practice runs for this LP, and I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. It actually has some subtle touches to it that make it a bit of a different experience than Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like I said, the main thing is that the zones, or at least in the first half of this game, you get through the zones, you just progress through the game a lot faster. You can complete each zone, like, in super fast times compared to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and it's just, yeah, it's kind of neat that way. And also, the zones, it's, yeah, like I said, it's kind of, I'd say, like, proto-Sonic 3 and Knuckles style. It's like you've got kind of, it's a bit less gimmicky obstacle-based. It's, like, kind of similar to Sonic 1 in that regard. It's, like, kind of the bridge between the two. Sonic 3 and Knuckles had a lot of reliance on kind of level-specific gimmicks. And Sonic 2 had, like, a lot of that. You see, like, each zone in Sonic 2 is very, very different. In fact, that's one of the things that all of the Sonic games do well, I think, is each zone in every Sonic game has just a very different feel to it. A lot of different obstacles and enemies that just really... The way you play through each of these zones is just very different. It's, each zone feels very unique, and there's a lot of diversity in that regard, which is a thing that I really, really like in general about, just 2D platformers in general. Was I finished talking about the special stages? I think I was. I mean, there's the special stages in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'll go into those, I guess, when I inevitably end up Let's Playing that game. And, oh, yeah. I've actually kind of sort of memorized this stage a little bit. I knew, because yeah, if you try to run past there, you'll end up just run at top speed, you'll end up running off the edge. And this signifies the boss here. This is actually one of the trickier bosses in the game, and kind of one of the most annoying to deal with. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can kind of do this the fast way, or the super safe way, or the kind of ballsy safe way. So I'm going to try and beat this guy without getting a hit. Basically, yeah, it seems like you can, you know, kind of... Basically, if you leave this guy alone long enough, he'll do an attack where his sort of rotating balls just kind of disperse, and then you can get a very easy hit on him without worrying about... Oh, are you kidding me? That ball was not anywhere near me! It was clear on the other side. Just go back and replay that, and I'm sure you'll find that I'm completely wrong, but nevertheless, felt like I timed that right. Anyways, Metropolis Zone, it really sucked. I really wanted to show off how cool I am to be able to beat that boss quickly and without getting hit, but alas. And there's an even faster strategy you can do for that boss that involves tanking a hit, though. Basically, you can get 2 hits on him every time he descends. And here we are in the Sky Chase Zone. Yeah, nice little breather. Just kind of like just kind of breeze, just going along. Nice, slow and steady on our little plane here. And actually, if you want to, you can spin dash right off the edge. I just wanted to show that off. I should have probably shown it off right at the start of the stage to avoid replaying to not have to replay these first few seconds of the stage, but I just like showing that off. It's kind of funny. Although it might have been a mistake. Or, actually, no. Oh, for some reason I thought I was at 1 life there, but no, that's not a 1, that's a 7. Idiot, can't even read numbers. But, yeah, this stage is actually really neat the first time you see it. It's, like I said, kind of a nice little breather. Just cruising. It's a little auto-scrolling stage. Not a lot of danger here. You've got plenty of rings, and the enemies aren't that much of a threat. It's just kind of almost like a little... I don't know what to call it. Just got not really a cutscene level, just, gives Tails something useful to do, which is honestly a big part of, kind of important to sort of justify Tails' existence in this game, especially if you're going through as Sonic alone. Oh yeah, special stages. That's what I was getting to. So okay, let's go quickly into the reason why I'm not using Tails here, since I ended up not doing it. Basically, it makes bosses a bit easier in that, like I said, most of the time with the bosses in this game, you're just going to be bouncing on them, just like doing chain bounces to beat them without any difficulty whatsoever. And Tails can actually screw you over in that regard. Sometimes Tails will try to hit a boss at the same time that you are, and his hit will take priority, and as a result, instead of bouncing off the boss, you'll just fall right through them, sometimes to your death. So yeah, Tails can make the bosses a bit tougher if you're trying to do sort of chain bouncing strategies. And also he makes the special stages a lot tougher. Basically, yeah, Tails sort of follows behind you in the special stages in this game, and so in theory, I guess what the game designers thought was that, okay, you've got Tails following behind, so you've got kind of a wider hitbox, makes it easier to grab rings. So as a result, the number of rings required to beat the special stages is actually higher if you play with Sonic and Tails, whereas if you go Sonic alone, you need fewer rings to finish the special stages. So that's another reason why I sort of go Sonic alone out of habit.